Welcome to the tutorial for problem 6.1, Work Together. You'll find this problem on page 121 of your workbook and page 155 of your textbook. In this problem, we are recording the trial balance on a worksheet. The directions: use the worksheet given in working papers. Your instructor will guide you through the following example. On February 28th of the current year, Golden Tan has the following general ledger accounts and balances. The business uses a monthly fiscal period. First step to completing a worksheet is the heading. Heading has three parts. The first line would be the name of the company. And in this example, it is Golden Tan. The second line is the name of the report. This is a worksheet. A worksheet summarizes the general ledger information into one sheet. The third line is the date of the report. We would write for the month ended February 28th is the date it gives us. And instead of the current year, which is 2012. That is a completed heading. The next step in completing the worksheet is the account titles. In your book, it gives you account titles and account balances. All we have to do is simply write down those account titles. Starting with cash. The order the accounts are put into a worksheet is first its assets, which in this one goes cash through prepaid insurance. Then we would do our liabilities, which in this problem we only have one, just the accounts payable. Then we do our owner's equities, which include two in this problem. Then we have an income summary account that we have not used yet and will not use until next chapter. Then we go with our revenue, which is sales, and we end it with our expenses. You want to make sure that you double check that you have all of the accounts written down, because if you miss an account, it can throw off the entire worksheet. So you got to make sure you have all the accounts listed. The next step in the trial balance of a worksheet is putting the balances in. Now the thing that you have to be careful with is we have a debit column, we have a credit column under our trial balance column. So we got to make sure that our accounts are in the correct column and they are based on their normal balance side. So for all our assets, the normal balance side is our debit. So what we're going to do is put in our amounts in the debit column for our assets. The book does have the correct side for you in this problem. We get all our assets in on the debit side. Then we have our liabilities, which are always credited. So we put in our accounts payable and our capital. Now our drawing is an owner's equity account, but its normal balance is a debit. So the amount for drawing would go in our debit column. Income summary, we leave blank for now. Sales is a credit normal balance, so that goes with the credit side. Advertising expenses, our expenses are expenses, but they go on the debit side. Nothing for insurance expense, So we go down to miscellaneous expense. Nothing for supplies expense. We go to utilities expense. And we have just entered in all of our totals. The third step is a single rule, which is just basically a single line at the bottom of our column. Single lines indicate that we are going to add or subtract the information that's above the single line. And in this case, we're going to add the totals. So we would take out a calculator. I would punch in my numbers, making sure that I have the correct numbers each time. Total 19,760. So underneath the single line, I write down 19,760. I would then go ahead and add up my credit side. And I get 19,760. It is imperative, very much imperative, that these two columns match. The debits must equal the credits. Why? Because that's our accounting equation. Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equities. That's how our debits and credits equal. Our fifth step, I just did, is write down the totals. Our sixth step is to add a double rule. Underneath our totals, we would add two lines, which is known as a double rule. A double rule states that nothing future is going to happen to these numbers. These numbers are final. We are not going to add to them. We are not going to subtract from them. And that completes recording the trial balance on a worksheet. The trial balance is completed.